Have you ever been hurt by someone's help? Have you ever been damaged by a friend's good intentions? If you feel confused and betrayed by a love that feels more like a burden than a blessing, you are not alone. There is an ancient diagnosis for this painful experience, encapsulated in a story about a foolish but loving bear. Understanding this story will give you the clarity to protect your peace. This is an invitation to explore one of the most treacherous landscapes in human relationships, the love of the well-intentioned fool. In our complex modern world, we are told to seek out friends who are loyal, supportive, and have our backs. And this is true, but we are rarely given the second, more crucial part of the equation, the part that acts as a vital safeguard for our soul. We are not taught to distinguish between loyalty that protects and loyalty that destroys. We have all known this kind of person, the friend whose brutal honesty demolishes your confidence, the family member whose helpful advice is a series of catastrophic commands, the partner whose passionate defense of you in public creates a scene of excruciating embarrassment. They love you, they are devoted to you, and yet you feel the constant need to manage them, to protect yourself from their next act of love. This is a profound and lonely confusion, because how do you build a boundary against someone who truly believes they are helping you? The 13th century master psychologist of the human soul, Jalaluddin Rumi, was not a naive poet who saw only the best in everyone. He was a profound realist, a physician of the heart who understood its shadows as well as its light. He knew that some forms of love are poison. And to inoculate us against this poison, he told a short, brutal, and unforgettable story. It is a story that provides a name, a diagnosis, and a prescription for this exact kind of damaging relationship. It is a story that will give you permission to finally trust your own unease and the clarity to build a circle of friends who can be trusted not only with your heart, but also with your life. In a time long past, a man who was perhaps weary of the deceptions and complexities of human society decided to venture into the wilderness. There he formed an unlikely and devoted friendship with a large, powerful bear. The bear, in its own simple way, loved the man completely. It saw him as its sole companion, its reason for being. The man, in turn, trusted the bear's raw strength and unwavering loyalty. One hot afternoon, the man lay down to rest under the shade of a tree, and the bear took up its post as his faithful guardian. As the man slept peacefully, a few persistent flies began to buzz around his face, landing on his nose and cheeks. The bear, ever watchful, gently shooed them away with its massive paw, but the flies, as is their nature, would immediately return. Again and again the bear would wave them away, and again they would land on the sleeping man's face. The bear's simple, loving desire to protect his friend began to curdle into a deep, primal frustration. Its heart, as Rumi puts it, grew tight with anger at these insignificant pests. This small problem began to feel like a personal insult, a challenge to its role as guardian. Its love and its ego became dangerously entangled. Consumed by this rising rage, the bear decided it needed a more permanent solution. The fly had to be eliminated, once and for all. It lumbered off, and finding a huge, heavy slab of rock, lifted it with all its might. It returned to the sleeping man, saw the fly now resting peacefully on his forehead, and with a great sense of righteous purpose, the bear raised the stone high and brought it crashing down to crush the tiny insect. The fly was indeed vanquished, but the man's face was utterly destroyed. The bear, in its final catastrophic act of love, had killed its only friend. This shocking story, Rumi explains, became a proverb throughout the world. The love of a fool is like the love of a bear. He then gives us a chilling diagnosis. For such a person, their love is a form of hatred, and their hatred is a form of love. Their promises are weak and unreliable. Their judgment is shallow. They may swear oaths on the holiest of books, but you must never trust them, for their guiding principle is not wisdom, but whim. Their lower self, their impulsive ego, is the king, and their intellect, their reason, is its slave. This story is a scalpel that dissects a particular and dangerous archetype of human character. The fool, or ahmak in Rumi's telling, is not a person of low intelligence. It is a person who lacks wisdom, foresight, and a sense of proportion. Their defining characteristic is that they act without thinking, creating massive, irreversible damage in the pursuit of a small, immediate goal. Their help is a sledgehammer in a world that requires a feather. Let us identify the bear in our own lives, not as a person, but as a pattern of behavior. First, there is the pattern of catastrophic solutions to minor problems. The bear-like friend sees a fly, a minor annoyance, a temporary problem, and their only solution is a rock. In our lives, this is the friend who hears you are having a small disagreement with your boss and advises you to quit your job in a blaze of glory. It is the family member who, upon hearing of a minor marital spat, immediately advocates for divorce. They lack nuance. They see everything in black and white, and their solutions are always nuclear. They cannot hold complexity, so they seek to annihilate it. Second, there is the pattern of love driven by ego, not by empathy. The bear's ultimate action was not for the man's peace, but for its own frustration. It wanted the satisfaction of destroying the fly more than it wanted the safety of its friend. This is the helper whose help is really about their own need to feel powerful, righteous, or in control. Their advice and actions serve their own emotional state first. They are not listening to what you actually need, they are imposing what they need to do. Third, there is the pattern of clumsiness in action and spirit. The source text uses a wonderful phrase, paldır küldür, to describe these people. They do things clumsily, rashly, in a headlong rush. They are the ones who make a joke that cuts to the bone, who reveal a secret by accident, who try to give a compliment that comes out as a stunning insult. They lack the fine motor skills of the heart. Their intentions may be good, but their execution is consistently and reliably destructive. Their harm, as the text says, is always greater than their benefit. To be in a relationship with such a person is to live in a state of constant, low-grade anxiety. You can never truly rest because you know that at any moment, a fly might appear and a rock might be the next thing you see.
Let us bring this ancient diagnostic tool into the quiet of our own lives. This is not about labeling people as bears and casting them out. It is about recognizing a dangerous dynamic so that you can wisely and compassionately protect yourself. Take a moment now to become still. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath. Bring to mind a relationship in your life that feels confusingly painful. One where you believe the person has good intentions, but you often leave interactions with them feeling worse, not better. A relationship that feels like hard work, where you have to constantly manage their reactions and help. Now, let us gently apply the wisdom of the story. Without harsh judgment, simply ask these questions about the dynamic of the relationship. 1. The rock and the fly. When you share a small problem, what is the scale of their proposed solution? Is it measured, thoughtful, and proportionate? Or is it often extreme, absolute, and catastrophic? 2. The ego's love. When they offer help or advice, does it feel like they are truly listening to your needs and honoring your feelings? Or does it feel more like they are imposing their own agenda, driven by their own anxiety, anger, or need to be the hero? 3. The clumsy hand. How often do you find yourself cleaning up the emotional or social messes they've made while trying to help? How often do their words, meant to be kind or funny, land like stones? Again, this is not about condemning a person. People can grow and change, but it is about being radically honest about a pattern. The story of the bear is not about a single mistake. It is about the bear's fundamental nature, its inability to pair its immense strength and loyalty with wisdom. If you recognize this pattern in a relationship, the story offers a clear prescription: create distance. This doesn't have to be a dramatic act of severing ties. It can be a quiet, internal shift. It means you stop trusting them with your vulnerabilities. You stop asking them for advice on delicate matters. You create loving but firm boundaries that protect your face from their well-intentioned rocks. We begin with the painful confusion of being hurt by someone's help. Rumi's stark fable of the man and the bear gives us the clarity we need. It hands us a new, non-negotiable term for any true friendship. Loyalty is not enough. Loyalty without wisdom is not a virtue. It is a menace. The most profound act of self-love and spiritual maturity is the careful and conscious curation of your inner circle. To choose your friends is to choose your world. The company you keep determines the quality of your thoughts, the safety of your heart, and the trajectory of your growth. It is not selfish to move away from people who, however well-intentioned, consistently bring chaos and harm into your life. It is a sacred duty to your own soul. In our hyper-connected world, we are encouraged to accumulate connections, to be open to everyone. But the ancient wisdom teaches the opposite. It teaches the art of discernment. It teaches that a small circle of wise, thoughtful, and truly empathetic friends is a treasure beyond measure, while a large circle that includes even one loving fool can be a fatal liability. Do not be the sleeping man who places his trust in a loyalty he has not examined. Be awake. Be discerning. Seek out friends who know the difference between a fly and a rock. Seek out those whose help feels like a gentle breeze, not a falling stone. Your peace is too precious, and your life is too sacred for any other kind of love.